Hi, I'm Andrea and welcome back. In this video, we're going to focus on one of the most powerful features inside of My Peeps, and that's our collections. Collections are where your memories stop being scattered and actually become stories. Imagine your collections as a place where only the most heartfelt pieces of your life lived. We aren't replacing your Instagram feed, your Google shared albums, the dump all that exists inside of your phone, but rather, we're cherry picking the most meaningful photos and videos and making sense of everything by including your voice, documents, website links, and the mementos, and finally piecing all of this together and permanently sharing it exclusively with your people. So, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to create a collection, add different types of content, and reorder and organize everything. So let's get started by creating one together. So from the Collections tab, we go ahead and we select the Create Collections. And we're going to go ahead and name this collection 2025 Getaways. Next, this collection spans the whole year. Date this January 1st, 2025. And I hit save. I'm going to go into privacy on the collection later in the video. And I hit publish. So there's the first collection. Now we're going to add content. And as you can see, those are your 8 choices. We're going to start with gallery. This works the same as your Apple app. I have an Apple phone, so that this video will all be done using the Apple Photo app. So you can use the same features, you can filter, you can sort, and we're going to go into collections. I have a lot of collections, so I'm going to scroll down to my 2025 albums, and we're going to choose the February Temecula album. I only have 4 items in here. I'm going to go ahead and choose all 4 items and add those to my collection. And I hit publish at the bottom. And now that those 4 pieces of content get added to my 2025 Getaways collection, I'm going to add more content. So I can record a video, I can add music, or I can also add audio of my voice. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do and describe this particular getaway. And save and publish. Now every piece of content goes to the bottom of the collection, and I'll show you how to sort the items later in the video as well. So you can also scan, and you can also add documents. And here we're going to go ahead and add a link. So in this case, the link, I'm going to go grab it from the internet. I want to include the link to the place that we stayed, which was called the Vine House in Temecula. I'm going to grab their website, click copy, and I'm going to paste that website into my collection and call it the Vine House and hit save. And now I'm going to publish that. And unfortunately, that's not too appealing visually. So instead of using that website link, I'm going to go ahead and do a screenshot of that particular place and bring the screenshot of that bed and breakfast that we stayed in versus the website link. And I'm going to do that now. I saved the screenshot, and now I'm bringing that in from the gallery into my collection. We're going to edit the collection details. So you're able to change the date of the collection, and you're also able to change privacy. Like I said, I'll be mentioning that later. And you're also able to share the collection outside of My Peeps. You just share a couple of images. Inside of the edit, you're able to reorder. I'm going to push this particular audio to the first position of the collection and save that. And I'm going to continue adding one piece of content that I forgot. So I'd like to add a list of the wineries that we visited. I'm going to write them out here, and I hit save. and publish. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this particular image because it just doesn't look that great. And you delete it right there at the top right, and you're going to delete it forever. Any content that you delete does delete forever inside of My Peeps. We don't have a draft place. Next, I'll reorder some of this content just, I don't know, to look better visually. And now I'm going to start editing the titles of these pieces of these items. So in this case, I'm going to call it February, Temecula trip, and save my changes. And you can go back and see how that title changed. Now you can just use the scroll feature at the bottom and edit each of these titles individually. Or you can just not have a title at all for any piece of content. And finally, the really cool feature is the ability to add audio to any piece of content in your collection. So we're going to do that now from the edit button, and then we hit voice caption, and I'm going to record a little bit about this particular location that we stayed in. So now that I've walked you through how to upload all of the different pieces of content, I'd like to show you the finished result. As you can see, I curated the story behind each of these visits. I tried to include audio on all of my links so I can describe what it is that we're going to go back to, maybe talk about how much it costs or so forth. And your year can look like a meaningful year when you look at it from this perspective. So I wanted to share that a little bit about the premium features. My Peeps is a free-to-use app, and with premium, which is $3.99 a month or $29.99 a year, you get unlimited collections and unlimited content. So right now you're restricted to 15 pieces of content per collection and 15 collections. When you upgrade, you also get the privacy feature. So if, for instance, this particular item, you didn't want to share it with all of your family members, then you can select this privacy. And you can set it to just you if there's a particular piece of content that you don't want to share with anybody, or you can select specific families. Even from here, you're able to select specific people that you don't want to share a particular piece of content, or even at the collection level, you're able to set an entire collection. If we go back to the collection here, you're able to set the entire collection privacy on that as well in the same way. So if it's just for specific families, because we encourage you to have families in all walks of your life, and some collections are appropriate for some families and some are appropriate for other families. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a few inspirational collection ideas that perhaps you haven't thought of. You can create a collection with letters to your future self, or conversations you might have had with your kids, or lessons that you've learned with privacy set to just yourself, favorite books that you've read, or family memories, or you could even have 365 days of voice notes. So it's up to you. If it matters to you, it belongs here. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how I use iOS 26 release Apple's Photos app to clear out my 1,375 photos and videos and turn that into something beautiful and meaningful using my device and My Peeps. So see you there.